Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.
Happy race day, everyone. Well, as you can tell, we're doing things a little different this morning. Welcome to the new and improved Monster Minutes. My name is Becca Cottingham, and I am the host of the Monster Minutes. So we're going to talk a little bit about Phoenix. You'll see some topics rolling around on the bottom of our screens. We're going to have some beautiful graphics popping up for you here and there. And I'd love to hear what you have to see and say. So when you pop in, say good morning, say hi, and let's get this party started, everyone. So, Phoenix, we still had cautions like crazy. Tires, still an issue, as we know. And Kyle Busch and his mouth still getting him in trouble. What's new? It's Kyle Busch, y'all. Don't we love him for that, though? I mean, or do we love to hate him for that? He does some good things off the track, but he also has his mouth that gets him in trouble. But I love the fact that then Alex Bowman takes what he says, turns it into a t-shirt, and does something good with it. So it's pretty cool. That's twice now that a Joe Gibbs driver has said something. Alex has turned it into a t-shirt. We've gotten some cool things. So we have a lot of big topics to talk about today, and I'm excited to talk about them. So let's break down Phoenix. What happened? We went into overtime, of course. Love to hate. Yeah, absolutely love to hate some Kyle Busch. 100% love to hate him. I love his off-trackness and the personality that he's starting to bring. But his on-track antics haven't changed a bit. We definitely had some very interesting things happen at Las Vegas. Plenty of cautions and craziness happen. Battles again between teammates that I'm like, are we going to have drama again in Hendricks? I was like, please, no, not again. We had 3 wide battles going on. Just pure craziness. We had, of course, the week before, we had the battle between Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott that necessitated words from, of course, team owner Rick Hendricks. And then it came back in with Kyle Larson and Alex Bowman battling for the win again at the Phoenix last week. I'm like, oh, are we going to have another issue where Rick Hendricks is going to have... Don't you, honey? You 100% do. It is going to have one of those issues where he's going to have to step back in and go, y'all, we've got to figure something out. We've got to stop wrecking one another. Thankfully, everybody raced really clean in Hendricks last week. We didn't have any bad calls from up top. There was no issues. I really thought there for a little while Kyle Busch was actually going to win this race. I was like, oh, holy smokes, Kyle's almost got this one in. Like, he was so close. Then we had that late caution. Eric Jones had an issue with the tire, and Bubba Wallace impacted the inside wall really, really hard. You could see the anger and frustration across Samantha Bush's face. Like, get off the track! She was not happy. Hoping that they could, get through and get Kyle the win, especially at a home track like that. Las Vegas is home to them, and it just didn't happen. A last-minute call for 2 tires by Alex Bowman, but Alex and Kyle, that's literally what she said, get off the track. Like, you could, like, I can't read lips. I'm the first one to admit I cannot read lips. I could read those lips, though. Like, you could see it. Like, telling them to get off the track, hurry up, move, get up, so that the race could continue. But there was no way. There was debris all over the place. NASCAR had already botched one call in the Xfinity race the day before, and they were having to admit that they botched a call when they should have flagged it as a caution and let them go back and start again for overtime, and they weren't going to make that mistake again. So they sent us literally in overtime. Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson's team rolled the dice, got them both out front. Kyle Busch's team did not make the right call. They didn't. They got shuffled back just a little bit. Alex and Larson went to battle. And Alex Bowman, he won. Kyle Busch had some not very nice things to say on the radio. I cannot repeat the words that he had to say on the radio because it had a lot of, as my fiance would say, sentence enhancers in it. And it was every other word was a sentence enhancer about how he lucks into the win or backs into the win. And just, if you ever watch Legacy on Fire or the podcast and you hear Jay, my fiance, you know him and his sentence enhancers. Just equate the F-bomb like every other word. How can the pit times be so bad, only putting one lug nut on at a time? That's a great question. I think because the one lug nut, while it is only one lug nut, it still does take time to get the new mechanism that they use to take that lug nut on and off on. Make sure that lug nut is secure, because please remember, if that tire comes off or is not secure, you will get suspended, or one of your crew members will be suspended for 4 weeks. Or at the end of the race, if it's not secure and it's found during post-race inspection that it's not all the way tightened, technically speaking. So it takes just as long to make sure that the threads, I feel, to make sure that they're tightened as the 5 lug nuts, personally, versus just the one large lug nut. So every week so far, we've had a lug nut issue. Drivers have been disqualified for it. At least one. There was one disqualified in the Xfinity Series. We've had drivers come back down because it wasn't tight. So they needed to make sure that they retighten it. They thought they stripped some of the actual ring, or the gun wasn't operating correctly. So there's been multiple issues there. So, yeah, it was not. I think it takes just as much time. The one thing that it is nice is that the tires do take more of a beating. You don't go flat nearly as quick. But once you are flat, you're not going anywhere. You're done. You're stuck on the track wherever you're at. So that's why they've been pushing them or towing them to get tires changed. And they went through tires at Las Vegas. There was 12 cautions displayed on Sunday, which actually tied 2018's playoff race in Vegas for the second most in the track history. Now, Kyle Busch and his statement that he left in, let's go back. Stage 1, Alex Bowman won. Stage 2, Ross Chastain won. Alex Bowman stayed pretty much consistently in the top 10. So just because his crew made the right call and your crew didn't, doesn't mean you backed into the win. Kyle, stop being angry because you didn't win. The end. That's all there is to it. I get it. You want to win. Don't we all? Ryan Blaney had a really rough race. His race ended at lap 102 after Brad Keselowski spun ahead of him and really damaging his car. We had Denny Hamlin also have a bad race as well, and he broke a transaxle. So he had a 30-second finish, which is one of the roughest starts to a season that Denny Hamlin's had before. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see how these drivers start to recover from this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to watch. So with Kyle Busch's wonderful radio statement he made, of course, not for regular, on the where regular people would hear it, but just Alex Bowman was like, oh, I think I should make a t-shirt. So he did. He made a family-friendly version of the t-shirt, posted it online, and because Kyle Busch drives the number 18, he is donating 18% of the funds raised from that t-shirt sale to the local shelter out there in Las Vegas. So, and then of course, because he won this week, or I should say last week now, he also, Ally, I know, Camo Life, Ally also donated funds to the local shelter as well, helping save animal lives, one animal life at a time. So, which is really, really cool. So, and that is just one part of what they're doing. And it also made him the second most winning driver in the last year. He has now 5 wins. She be hunting. Yeah, I be hunting for race car drivers. On the track, of course. And only in a good way, Jeremiah, before you say something bad. Because I already know he's going to say something bad. But we do have some sad news to share, or heavy-hearted news. I did not post about this on our Facebook because the pictures that circulated, Twitter, the news, for me, it's just sad and brutal, and the family is already dealing with enough. I will touch on the topic. There was a hauler for the ARCA team for David Gilliland's racing that was heading to Phoenix that had a crash this week. It was a multi-vehicle accident, and it shut down a Texas highway for several hours. The driver was killed in that accident. It was David Gilliland's, one of his drivers. It was the sub driver that was killed. The photos that they took and shared, me just being who I am, just I couldn't bring myself to share those photos because it was just seeing it. The hauler actually caught fire. The mess that was left on the actual highway was just, it was bad. So I, reading through the comment on David Gilliland's racing Twitter, like the family had already said, I hope my dad's okay. So knowing that one of them's dad was in that vehicle and still hadn't, at the point when David Gilliland made the initial statement, that he still didn't know if his dad was alive or not. And then David Gilliland and them hadn't made the statement yet about the update. And I think that's the one thing about the media. Yeah, I think Jay said it best. Some people have no tact. I'm not TMZ, and I just couldn't bring myself to share that photo, knowing that their family lost somebody like that. So it was brutal. The other two drivers of that truck were treated and released, and then the other family member or the other people in the other vehicle, I believe were also treated and released from the hospital. So it was just a really sad situation. Reading some of the comments just on Twitter in general about it, it's a really rough part of the highway where most people go 90 miles an hour. And as we know, a lot of people don't have respect for 18-wheelers. And if you cut one off and then slam on your brakes in front of them, they don't have room to stop. And from the sounds of it, it could have very much been, they said the driver of the truck didn't control his speed. But, and of course they're going to blame the 18-wheeler driver when it could very well have been a situation such as that. 4:30 in the morning, y'all. Just brutal. And like I said, I'm not TMZ. It's not my picture to share in that fashion. So, metal gets real bendy at those speeds, and catches fire really quick too. So, David Gilliland's racing team did send out an ARCA car to Phoenix and did race without sponsors on it this weekend and actually won. So congratulations to that team. What a way to honor that team and the family that, because to them it is family. NASCAR is a huge family. To honor the members that they lost. So thoughts and prayers out to David Gilliland group, the racing team out there, to the family that lost a dad, a husband, a grandfather possibly, to whoever he was. Just know thoughts and prayers are with you. in that situation. It's brutal, and recovery to everyone involved in that. So there's just sad news there. Team Stang Racing did announce a new Cup entry, part-time plans for the number 79 Ford with Tasco Marquise and 8 Cup Series for 2022 on Tuesday as well, which is really, really cool. And evidently, Kyle Busch has cleared the air with Alex Bowman. He found it funny. So, yes, absolutely. We're excited to have you all here. So thank you absolutely for joining. We also got some promotions this week in NASCAR. Ben Kennedy's new role will be the Senior Vice President, Racing Development and Strategy. And Stephen O'Donnell's new role will be the Chief Operating Officer. So we got some new roles at NASCAR. So probably some more new changes are coming down the road. Or I should say down the pike. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's always going to be something different. And Steve has already said NASCAR to take a look at an electric exhibition series. I mean, we're hearing about electric everywhere. And at this point, Lord knows, with gas being $4 and something a gallon, I don't know what it is where you're at, but it's like $4.30 here, which is ridiculous. I can't imagine trying to fill a race car up right now. Or a hauler. Thank goodness for sponsors. That's all I got. Now, this has been something that has been talked about a couple of times. And Danica Patrick even talked about it in the booth last week. Tyler Reddick. And Tyler, please know I can absolutely sympathize with you. Because I had this problem. Flintstone's looking real smart. Facts. I mean, somebody advertised the Flintstones car in our local classifieds the other day. I about died of laughter. So Tyler Reddick has been having this problem with his legs going numb. Good morning, Harley. And it's all due to how his seat is. So they've been working on it. $7.59. Oh, California has always had expensive gas prices. They can keep those things, but no thank you. I'm glad we decided not to go to California for our honeymoon. Oh, they've had Uber drivers like quitting in waves because of gas prices. Literally. People and DoorDash people like, here's my resignation because they can't keep up with the amount of money. The money doesn't equate. It doesn't balance out anymore because the gas prices being what it is. And just so you know, please make sure you're tipping those people. They're doing you a service. Rant's over. And that's the same thing if you get people to drop off your groceries. Tip those people. Jeez. No, I don't do those services. It's just common courtesy. But with my own health, with numbness, Tyler Reddick has complained about legs going numb and each of the last 2 races. So they're working to figure out what's off or different with his seat and his car so that they can fix it. And Danica Patrick talking about her being like 5'1" on their last show is like, you really need to do something with his seat. And I'm like, Danica, I wouldn't be advertising again that you're only 5'1", but dang, I understand they're Tyler Reddick's problem. I think the last time we drove home from Michigan, from seeing Jay's family, the last trip I got to make up there, I had problems with my legs going numb too. So, and I think that was really the start of my problem of my own health issues. So, if they can't fix the seat, maybe he needs to get checked out as well. Numbness can be a health issue, just as an FYI. I told y'all last week, make sure you mind your own health stuff. And then they've also announced Trevor Bayne will be racing an extra race too this coming up. All right, so we have the comfort level has also, can Fox get more boring help in the booth? Stuart and Patrick make me I don't know what Fox is doing in the booth. I really don't. I understand. I guess they don't want to pay one person alone. So we get Danica Patrick again this week in Phoenix. So it is going to be interesting. My thing is she still has limited knowledge of Cup cars, even though she raced in them for just a little bit. So I see you, Quimby. He's trying to mess these curls up again this week. I don't get it, y'all. He's so silly. He's so silly. I guess that's what I get for marrying him. I get the silly man. So they're like, oh Lord. They're still having fun with the new car. They're saying it isn't easy to pilot, but the Cup drivers get more track time. Another Quimby drive-by. I know. He's gonna have fun trying to do a drive-by next week because I'm gonna do my monster minutes on Saturday. But while we're doing get ready time, so I don't have to worry about trying to do monster minutes on Sunday live from New York. So yeah. So there won't be a drive-by Quimby next week. Just saying, y'all. This is 2 weeks in a row I've had a drive-by Quimby messing up my curls. So the new car still isn't easy to pilot according to the drivers. But as the Cup drivers get more track time, they're learning more about the vehicle overall. This will make the 5th event for the vehicle, the Clash at the Coliseum, of course, being the first one. And then we've had 4 points races so far. And then, of course, they've actually had practice and qualifying. Martin Truex Jr. Said it's definitely improving. I think getting more experience. I'm getting more comfortable with it every week behind the wheel standpoint to find the edge and where the car wants to be. Figuring out exactly how the tires react. Kevin Harvick has won 9 times at Phoenix, of course. Says he and his Stewart-Haas racing team are adjusting to the car. I think racing has definitely helped that with just understanding what you were looking for and what you were fighting. I think we are all a lot more confident. We actually got our car through tech this week, and that was a good hurdle. If you watched last week's show, you know that there was a huge issue with tech the week before. There was another huge issue with tech again this week. 9 teams had crew members ejected this weekend because they had issues failing. So Kyle Busch, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Cole Cluster, Todd Gilliland, Eric Jones, Ty Dillon, Garrett Smithley, and Landon Castle each failed inspection twice on Saturday. So each of them lost a crew member for the team. No teams failed inspection 3 times at least. So, yeah. Inspection has been brutal. I don't know what's been going on with them failing inspection, but this is 2 weeks in a row that we've had massive failed inspections. Massive. It's going to be really crazy to see what happens. We have Ryan Blaney on the pole for today, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Christopher Bell, Eric Amarola, Chase Briscoe, Kyle Larson, Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman, and Joey Logano. That is your top 10 for today. It is a good top 10. Ryan Blaney is like probably super excited to be like, hopefully gonna be like, I am going to have a better race than I had last week due to crashing out so early last week. It is gonna be, a nice rebound. Let's hope Ryan Blaney is focused on the positive this week. We are set to go racing. The command will be given around 3:38, and the green flag is scheduled to wave at 3:47. We are on Fox again today. Stage 1 is scheduled to end at lap 60. Stage 2 around 185. And then, as long as nothing crazy happens like we had last week, we are scheduled to end at lap 312. It is a 1-mile speedway at Phoenix. If you want to watch pre-race, it is on FS1. Or you can always listen in on MRN, channel X, or on Sirius is channel 90. I'm telling y'all, program it. It's wonderful. It is supposed to be about 75 degrees today with no chance of rain at the start of the race. Kyle Larson, last time Kyle Larson did win the race and his first championship in November. But we do have, and Dorel just asked, who is my pick for today? So my pick for today is going to be Kevin Harvick. He is a 9-time winner, and my dark horse will be Kyle Larson. Kevin Harvick has won this race 9 times. But then we have the king of ridiculousness right now, aka Kyle Larson, who has won the race in his first championship back in November. But yes, so my pick to win today is going to be Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick has had several rough seasons without a win, but this has been a track that he is king at, along with Atlanta. So if he is able to pull off or do what he loves, or like I like to call it, Harvicking, and gets up there, he is, he doesn't have the best starting position. He's starting 16th today. But if they're able to make the right calls and get him up front, I think he has a really good chance of, making that solid run today. So that is my pick to win today, just because of his history with the track. And then we are scheduled to, of course, finally head back to the East Coast next week. We're almost done with the West Coast swing, and we're heading to Atlanta. So people are hoping, since the Atlanta Braves won, that Chase Elliott can win in Atlanta. But Kevin Harvick also has some good luck in Atlanta. It's where he Harvicks too. But again, he's had a rough season. He's had a rough couple of seasons. It's a new car. And for the most part, it's been the younger crew. Kyle Larson is my pick, and Daniel Suarez is my dark horse. Man, Daniel Suarez has been on fire. Team Trackhouse has put together a heck of a group of a team. Their program has come so far. Hats off to them. It's just, they've come so far, and I think with this new car, they have 100% changed the direction of a lot of teams. They really have. They didn't have, again, like I said last week, so many groups had the advantage because of who they were with or who they were allianced with. Now it somewhat matters, but not to the point where you can't compete. Last year, we didn't hear hardly anything about Team Trackhouse. We didn't hear hardly anything about Eric Jones. And now you actually see Eric Jones competing. You see Trackhouse competing. You see these smaller teams being able to physically compete. And it's great. I love seeing it. And it's kind of like more so the older time frame, at least to me, where you brought what you could. and it didn't matter what your name was. So whether you had the money or not, you still were able to compete and be competitive. So, and Trackhouse has just they've made moves. They've made the right moves, and it's been good to watch them grow. I'm just waiting, because Daniel Suarez or Ross Chastain will be in victory lane at some point. Chase Briscoe is even grown. So it's definitely different to see. Like, some of these drivers that had such difficulty, we've it's a completely different ball game with this new car. Bad Brad is wrecking everybody trying to win, so he's on everybody's list. He's becoming Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and wrecking everybody. So, but okay. All right, y'all. Well, happy Sunday. Happy race day. This is my next to last Rebecca Cottingham Monster Minutes. Next week, I will be doing it on Saturday as I get married. to Jay Quimby. So y'all will see me on Saturday because Sunday I start honeymoon time with Quimby. So we'll be in New York. Yes, I will still be watching NASCAR somehow after a play. Let's hope. Yeah, gotta get used to Becca Quimby. Yeah, we'll start seeing the last name change officially next week, y'all. But you'll still see Becca Cottingham one more week. He's not a bum, please. And we'll be seeing more of this going forward. We'll officially have a new theme song coming out very soon. So something different, something new. So let us know what you think. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube, because this will now be on YouTube as well. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you check out the guys. Legacy on Fire. They usually do it on Wednesday, sometimes on Thursday. I'm sure the guys will be getting ready to do another podcast here soon. Yeah, and we'll be getting this podcast thing started really, really quickly and soon, so that we can be bringing all the latest and the greatest Monster Minutes. So, again, make sure that you're liking us, sharing us on all platforms, and wow, Quimby, just wow, that's all I got. And we will see y'all in the sports world. Bye, y'all.
Legacy Maker, the All Sports Network.